Hello everyone, this is Tytar Jr. So today we're going to be taking a look at Anno 1800. So we're looking at the brand new DLC called the Docklands DLC. This DLC is a game changer. So I decided to make this video because one, I love this game, it needs more exposure, and two, when I first opened up the Docklands DLC, I was actually very confused on how this all worked. I figured you guys would really enjoy seeing how this DLC actually works. So the first thing I would like to mention, this actually does have to do with the DLC I'm talking about. If you notice, I've got all this empty land here. Well, those used to be production buildings. I used to have grain farms here. I used to have them with the tractors running. I used to have all these woodcutters over here. You can see I've got the woodcutter missing there and there. And all this space has been freed up because of this DLC. Now, how exactly did I do that with Docklands DLC? So let's take a look and see how we can get your Docklands set up to work as well. So I have started a little bit so I can see how this is all working. Now, if you take a look here, this is your Docklands main wharf. So if you go to Artisans and then click on Medium Harbor Buildings, you have your Docklands main wharf, and you can build one of these per island, okay? You don't know the value of that yet, but you're about to. Trust me, you're about to. So here we are, and you build what's called modules onto this. It's kind of like the palace if you have that DLC, the Seat of Power. So if you take a look, you can build depots, but not only does it add storage, but it adds attractiveness to your island, which is great, by the way. You can add additional piers. You can add additional repair cranes. You can add additional harbor master post offices. Post office. Office.
No, God!
This is absolutely huge.
That's what she said.
The Harbor Master office allows for 3 items. Well, this by itself allows for 3 items. And then you can build additional ones that have 1 item slot extra. And so that in itself, the amount of legendaries you can stack, legendary items and epic items you can stack in your harbor, absolutely insane. If you guys have played to late game, you guys know there is some serious stacking you can do here, serious optimization, serious defense. It's almost broken in my opinion, almost broken. So the loading wharf, this is also great. So the loading speed bonuses, you go faster when you're dropping stuff off. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. And then you have your exports office, okay? Your exports office is what allows you to do more exports and imports. So let's take a look at that. So this is the screen you're going to see. It's very daunting, and I was super confused when I first looked at this. I was like, what the heck am I even looking at? So let me help you guys out. So when you first open, I think you have just 1, maybe 2. But essentially, what this DLC is all about, trade. Think about that. It's trade. So it's not selling an item for cash or buying an item for cash. You're trading items based on their value. So for example, in this example, this one here, I am basically exporting or selling coal. In exchange, I'm getting wood. Where am I getting it from? I'm getting it from this guy. So this guy will come every 20 minutes, as you can see here, and essentially he acts as a trader, not a traitor, a trader, a barterer. And so there's an exchange rate. So the game has built-in values for each of these resources, and it'll calculate what resource is worth what. So for example, let's go back to this example over here and why this is so powerful, why this is so insane. So if you look here, I got no grain farms and I've got no woodcutters at all on my island when I needed them, because I have all these other islands that need these resources and everything, right? So why this is so powerful is because now I checked my demand and I already did the math. So I'm just going to make up random numbers here. So I did the math on what my demand is for wood. Okay. So my demand in a fictitious world, let's say my demand was 10 tons of wood per minute. See that in the bar chart area. So if that's the case, he's coming every 20 minutes. So do the math, that's 200 wood. Yeah, 200 wood. So 200 wood is what's needed for those 20 minutes. Now, this guy, I've noticed, he actually has to travel from the edge of the map to your island and then travel out, and then the 20-minute timer starts. So I add a little buffer. So let's say you need 20 wood or 200 wood during that time. So maybe make it 300 wood or something like that, or whatever your resource is. And all you do, in this case, I actually needed 1200 based on my math. So if you typed in 300, watch what happens to my coal count right here. So now when the trade happens, it's going to take 203 coal from me. And then in return, it's going to return 300 wood for me. I'm going to change that before I forget. So essentially, an item that I'm already overproducing because I just have an excess. I just can't get rid of it. I can sell it, but it's like I don't make that much money on it. And if you look at my money, I don't need money. I don't need money, but I am very tightly leveraged for land space because I'm so far in the game that I can't always be conquering islands just to cut dang trees, right? So now, because I've got all of this excess, I can just trade it. I can just trade it. This gets even more insane as you go further because I also have this with my grain setup. But on resources from like the New World and the Arctic, and I think Invesa as well, you can trade those items. So whatever's available over here, you essentially can trade for. So for example, chocolate. Chocolate is super difficult to produce. Super difficult. You have to set up an entire island in the New World, get the infrastructure built up. You got to get the proper workforce. You got to keep them happy. Then you got to build ships. Then you got to import unless you want to be paying somebody to charter your stuff. Then you got the pirates. You got all these factors that are preventing you from getting the chocolate to your mainland. But now I'm going to trade whatever it is in exchange for chocolate. I did this one as an example for this video. So you can theoretically massively overproduce on fish, theoretically. And if you could store it all and you're like, I just need 100 chocolate every 25 minutes, whatever it is. Let's say that's all you need, right? That exchange rate is terrible, but it's possible, right? So I can have 1,725 fish ready to exchange for that 100 chocolate. Now I don't need to go build an entire infrastructure out in the New World, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just to develop chocolate. I can just trade for it. And in this position that I'm in right now, it is perfect because I'm so over leveraged, if that's even the right word. I'm so over expanded that I'm having to do all these crazy things just to get these stupid little resources to make my investors happy, even though they're maxed out happiness right now. But that's besides the point. So let's go ahead and look back here. That's why this is such a game changer, because now you can get all of these resources, because in this match, brass has been a competitive resource, and the entire map needs it, and we are constantly short. My friend and I, Mathelios, were hunting for legendaries to try to get more and more brass. Now we can just trade for it. Game changer, absolute game changer. Now let's move on to the next thing. So this right here is actually a global system. So this is what's going on this main island, but you can build these main wharfs on these other islands. And as you continue to add more and more, you start going up the tiers. So for example, down here, if you look at the exchange rate, it gives me 1.2 times the amount. So for example, if you look, my cement is one of the items that's slotted in here. And I'm not quite sure how to add these other items just yet. I'm still working on that. But basically how this works is the cement is now exchanged at a rate of 1.2 times. So now it's in favor of me even more. So I'm getting better value as I exchange it, because the exchange rate is now in my favor by 0.2 times more than it was before. And as you go up, not only are you unlocking other modules, as you can see, +2 for depot, +1 for harbor master, all those things, you also have 1.4 times exchange ratio on tier 3. On tier 2, 1.6 times, And then your legendary slot is 2 times. So you can literally get double what it's worth. So in the chocolate instance, I could theoretically, which doesn't seem like much, but for all that fish, I could end up getting 200 chocolate instead. Or if you had a closer exchange ratio, you can get way more of the resource you need if it's your legendary item. And this is easy to build up to because you can have it on all of your different islands and you're building upward. So that way you can have more of these imports and exports, and then your specialty exports, you're getting crazy value on the one you need, and you could swap these out too, assuming that you have them unlocked. Now, the last thing you guys are probably seeing that these are all locked. You have to do certain things. So the downside to this DLC I've seen is no matter how late you are in the game, you have to start off doing the little stuff. So you start off doing the little stuff, but it didn't take me that long, to be quite honest with you. But I think I started off with like potatoes, pigs, grain, and wood, I think was all I had. But now, as I'm doing these different things, it's unlocking things for me. So let's go down. And for example, for steam carriages, the unlock conditions is I need 31 export and import things set up. That's a lot. That's pretty tough, but that's great though. For the gramophone, I need to import 1602 watches. Well, that's locked. What do I have to do for that? Cement. Well, I'm almost there. So I can start importing gramophones here pretty soon, to be quite honest, because all I got to do is finish my cement threshold here. And then I've got to then do the pocket watches, and then I get gramophones. I literally trade my junk for gramophones. I have so much excess junk, I can just trade it for gramophones, which is huge value. And like just a small example here as well, my red peppers and my beef, I built an entire island at the start of the game just for that. This island is near useless because its main purpose is to make brass, and its main purpose is to get beef and to get red peppers. Now I can turn this island into something totally different because all of this land is now freed up for me, and all of that cost is reduced. Huge, absolutely huge. So hopefully this helps you guys out, because you can also build this in the New World, the Arctic, all that stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that helps you guys out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's take a look and see how my city's looking. Dang, we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. I was trying to make it look nice, but I was kind of just playing around, to be honest with you, and I'm running low on space because I didn't know Harbor Master whatever DLC is coming out, so I built all this infrastructure beforehand. I don't have much free coast space anymore. But hey, looking great so far, and I'm really excited about this DLC. I love that they have a Season 3. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. I got other gaming content, not just Anno 1800. I'm going to be restarting my max difficulty playthrough, so definitely check that out once it comes out. Max difficulty on this game. In fact, on max difficulty, I might turn this DLC off. I think it's really powerful. I might keep it on just because it's DLC. But man, it is powerful. Powerful stuff for sure. So until next time, guys, I'll see you later.